Jai Gurudev. We're going to discuss a subject that I rarely take on head on, because very touchy subject. God and your relationship with God. Some of you don't believe in God. I love that. I'm serious. You are welcome here. This is Temple of the Universe. You believe anything you want. Why? Because beliefs are just beliefs. I believe he's from Mars. No, seriously. I believe anything I want. Right or wrong? Can you believe anything you want? Okay, therefore they're meaningless. And I'll tell you why when you talk about your relationship with God, the real relationship with God, beliefs have nothing to do with it. They are necessary, perhaps, for you to move your way up to realizing the reality of what's going on, of yourself, your relation with God and God, but they really have nothing to do with anything. So don't feel bad if you think you're an atheist or agnostic or don't believe in God and never did and don't understand all this stuff. Fine. That's wonderful. Your mind can believe anything it wants. And no belief is more right than any other belief. Have you ever changed your beliefs? Has anybody ever changed their beliefs? They're just things that the mind holds on to. And you're taught to hold on to your beliefs. You're taught to, one, get the right beliefs. And every religion will tell you different ones. And your parents will tell you different ones about different things. About every single thing. There's the things you're supposed to believe. I believe you're supposed to behave this way. I believe you're supposed to wear your hair that way. Yeah, I believe in India you're not supposed to wear orange unless you're a Swami. She's wearing orange. I believe she's wrong. Right or wrong? Come on. Let's get that straight. So nothing we're going to talk about today has to do with beliefs other than, are you willing to let go of your beliefs? But you think letting go of your beliefs means you fall down, you gave up, you became bad. Okay? Well, depends what your beliefs are. There are people who believe that, I don't want to say it, all kinds of weird things, don't they? Voodoo and different devil worship and stuff like that. They believe in that stuff, don't they? Okay? Well, you can believe anything you want. So let's get beliefs out of this. Clear that. So, first, if you want to understand your relationship with God, you first have to understand you. That's a starting point. And you think you know you, but you don't. Very few people know themselves. Know the self. Know the true self. Okay? You get your picture on the wall if you do. So the starting place is this. Who do you think you are? Well, I think I'm the person who played Dorothy in the 5th grade. I think I'm the daughter of this person. I think I'm the son of that person. I think this is my child. I think that's my house. That's who I am. That's my car. I think I am what has happened to me. I think I am the experiences I had. I think I am that. I think I am my possessions. That's how I measure myself. That's what I am. I'm wealthy. I'm poor. That's what I am. I'm my financial state. I'm young. I'm old. You're not any of those things. That is the most absurd, ignorant thing that I've ever heard of. The fact that you have an experience, it's not who you are. You're the one who had the experience. Are you saying you would not have been there if you didn't have the experience? I'm standing here. I see a car accident. Oh my God, I'm the one who's traumatized by the car accident. That's who I am. I saw a terrible car accident. I define myself as that now. You don't understand how terrible it was. Okay? Well, mean you didn't exist before that car accident. And you wouldn't exist if you didn't see that car accident. Answer me. Of course not. Then that's not who you are. That's an experience you had. Who had? There, that's you. You're the one that had the experience. You're not the experience. The experience came and went. So we haven't found you by defining you as the experiences you had. Well, I'm old. I'm 67 years old. I'm older than that. I'm 67. I'm 67 years old. That's who I am. Really? You didn't exist when you were 66? Or 65? Or 6? When you were 5 years old and you looked in the mirror, was there an image in the mirror? Did it look like that? Like it looks now? Were you looking? That's who you are. You have always been there. You've always been there. I should have started by asking, are you in there? It's a simple question. Who wants to say no? Go on, raise your hand. No, I'm not in here. But then who answered? Who heard me? You are in there. You're a conscious being. Believe it or not, that's what you are. You know that. Are you a conscious being? Yes. That's the right answer. I'm the conscious being that's having these experiences. I'm the conscious being that has watched this body age from this to that. I'm the conscious being that watched the body get varicose veins. I'm the conscious being that watched the body's hair grow gray, or whatever it is. That's who I am. I'm the one who sees this. Would you be there if it didn't happen? Were you there yesterday? How do you know? You have always been there. That's who you are. You are that which has always been there. Certainly since your birth, you have been in there. Some people say they remember being in the womb. I experienced being in the womb. Some people say, I remember when I was 3 months old crying for mommy. Do some of you have very early experiences? Then that means you were in there. You're having experiences. Can you relate that you're the same person in there now having different experiences? Now you're getting close. There's only one being in there. So when you define yourself as the experiences you had, you're lost. Next comes down to this. I'm the one who believes this, who thinks this, who learned this, that can do calculus, and I'm good at this. Those are the mind you're looking at. Have you ever found that you were good at something and that you had a blank moment? You don't have to be old for this. You had a blank moment and you weren't good at it during that moment. You just couldn't relate, couldn't do it. Did you know that happened? Were you aware that you were grappling for the mind to be pulled back together? Well, then you're not your mind. You're the experiencer of your mind. You're the experiencer of your thoughts. Now that's a tough one. I went very fast. Most people have trouble with that. You're not your thoughts. You're the one who's... wait, I'll do it this way. Are there thoughts in there? How do you know? I don't know your thoughts. How do you know your thoughts?
I see them.
That's right. You see them, you hear them. They talk, don't they? The other day I said to somebody, I could see that they weren't used to it, right? Just start saying hello in your head. Just make it say hello over and over again. Is it doing it? How do you know? Because you're conscious. You're conscious of the thought. Were you conscious that the word hello was being said in your head? Were you aware? Consciousness, awareness, they're the same thing. They mean the same thing. Okay? So you're conscious, you're in there, and you have a thought that said hello. Now say goodbye over and over. It does it, doesn't it? Because you're in there and you're conscious. Fine. Now, and I don't want you doing it because you'll get all screwed up, all right? Now have it say, no, don't leave me. I love you. What will I do if you leave me? Could it say that? Don't blush. Could it say that? How do you know it's saying that? Isn't it the same as hello, goodbye? Is it not just another thought that's happening in the mind that you are aware of? You're not so quick to say yes to that, are you? You think you're the little melodrama in there, don't you? It's just a thought. And you are conscious of thoughts. Some thoughts are pleasant. Some thoughts are unpleasant. Some thoughts are meaningless. Have you ever had a song get stuck in your head that keeps going on by itself? How do you know? It's a thought. It's the same as hello. It's the same as goodbye. It's the same as please don't leave me. It's the same as, oh my God, he's coming back. I love him so much. This is so beautiful. I wonder what he'll say. Those are thoughts. They're all the same. Just like the Buddhists say, every cloud in the sky, I don't care if it looks like a rocking chair. All clouds are clouds. All thoughts are thoughts. I don't want to lose anybody because I'm going to go very deep today. A thought is a thought. John's a potter. He takes clay. He makes it into a platter. He makes it into a vase. He makes it into this, that, or the other thing. It's just clay. It's all clay. Thoughts are thoughts. The fact that they take different forms, so what? Now let's go a little deeper to ones you'll definitely have trouble with. Have you ever felt love coming from your heart? I mean, real, open love, just beautiful love coming from your heart. That's not who you are. How do you know you feel that? Same way you know you feel that you have thoughts. Same way you know you see an image in the mirror. You're conscious of these things. What do they call? They're called emotions. Are they thoughts? No, they're not thoughts. Thoughts can happen with them. When you start feeling love, the thought can say, oh my God, I've never felt so much love. That's a thought, but the love you feel is not that thought. You can have so much love that you can't think. Don't they say that? Don't ask him, he's in love. Don't ask him about her, he loves her. Right? He can't think straight. Have you ever heard that? He's so in love, he can't think straight. All right? He's so angry, he can't think straight. So your emotions and thoughts are different things, but you who is aware of them are the same. Is it a different you that feels your emotions, that hears your thoughts, that have to call each other on the cell phone? No, you're in there, and you're experiencing whatever's coming up in there. Something comes up from the heart, that's called an emotion. They can be beautiful like love, they can be terrible like hatred and anger and fear and insecurity. Wait, shake your head no if you've never felt any of these come from your heart. Anger, insecurity, self-consciousness, embarrassment, shame, guilt. Nobody's shaking their head. Those are emotions that can be created, vibrations. They're vibrations. You feel them. You don't hear them. It's not like talking. Your mind can visualize. You can see a boat. Yes or no? Your mind can visualize and it can talk. It talks all the time. Talky, little voice inside your head. Why did he say that? I don't know. Should I ask him? No, don't ask him. That's not you. That's not you. There are thoughts being created in your mind, and you are the awareness that is aware that that's going on. And the same thing with your emotions. A great being, all thoughts and all emotions are thoughts and emotions. Doesn't mean they don't experience the difference. Just a cloud looks different. But you don't get weird about it. Someone who has said Ramakrishna, a great enlightened being. Does an enlightened great master ever feel anger? And he said yes. But it's like riding on water. How much of a big deal does it make if you ride on water? Who can read it? It just passes right through. It's the same as anything else. It's just a vibration that comes up from the heart. We'll talk about why. We can talk about why these emotions happen. There's a reason. Everything has a reason. We can talk about why the particular thoughts are the way they are. That's interesting. But it doesn't matter. They're still just thoughts. It doesn't matter. They're still just emotions. And the consciousness, we call the self, the Atman, the soul, whatever you want. I don't like to use the word soul because, boy, all kinds of beliefs come out of that thing. And what a soul is, all right? We're just talking about something you can relate to. How about this? We're talking about something that you are. You are the consciousness in there. You're the receiver of what comes in through your senses. The experiencer of your thoughts, the experiencer of your emotions. You are one in there. And you have always been in there, and you have always been one in there. It doesn't feel like that. We'll talk about why in a minute. Why we have to have a talk like this to get us back to the seat of self. That is the seat of self. That's what we're talking about. That's what they mean by the seat of self. Become established in the seat of self means, yep, because you're closer now since the talk we're having. I guarantee you, you're more detached, more centered in that place because you've been being in that place looking at this different stuff I'm talking about. But that's not normally where you sit. You know, I sit right down in there in the garbage. It pulls you right in. It starts saying, I don't know if he loves me. Maybe he told other people he loved them. And oh my God, there's that other person he dated before. I don't want to be around them. But that's not you. That is not you. You are the experiencer of that chain of thoughts. If those thoughts were not going on, you'd still be there. If another thought was going on, oh, I see he loves me so much, she loves me so much. There's the person they used to date. He's not even going over to her. Oh, I feel so warm. It could say anything it wants. It's still you experiencing what it's saying. All right. So now we're beginning to get the establishment. If we're going to talk about God and your relationship with God, I have to start with you knowing who you are. I'm going to talk about what's your relationship with God in the car accident I didn't want to have. I don't like God. Why did he do that? No, I'm talking at that level. That's all mumbo-jumbo in the mind. More beliefs and et cetera, et cetera. Okay? So now we've established that you are in there and you're aware of what's going on in there. So let's take just a slight moment, because I usually do my whole talks based on just that. Why don't you know that all the time? Why all during the day are you not just sitting back there watching? What's it called? Witness consciousness. You're witnessing what is going on. Not just what's going on outside. There's a car driving by. There's a girl walking by. There's a boy walking by. Yeah, you can witness that. You witness what's going on inside. So the car drives by. God, I wish I had one like that. Oh my God, look at it. It's a Tesla. I love electric cars. I hate electric cars. So somebody drives by. Does the mind talk about it? Does the mind talk about it? Does it stimulate thoughts in the mind? Can it stimulate emotions? Wow. I call it a three-ring circus. The outside world comes in. That's distracting. Your mind says something about it. Not to mention it says something about everything that's happening even when it's not happening. That's distracting. And your emotions get created based upon all that garbage, don't they? They're all kind of interrelated. You don't stand a chance. All right? You get pulled into that, don't you? How about a more scientific word? You get distracted by it. Don't you? Do you ever get distracted by your thoughts? Distracted by your emotions, distracted by what's going on outside? Can you be thinking, something going outside and all of a sudden you're out there paying attention to that instead of thinking, doing your homework or something like that? Can you be studying, reading a book and realize that you turned 3 pages and have absolutely no idea what you read? Your eyes were reading it and a part of you was saying it, but the thoughts were off somewhere else. Has it ever happened? Now do you know who you are? You're the one in there noticing all this, but you don't know that you're noticing it because you got pulled in too much. You got pulled into it. Sort of like, let's say something happened and you started to feel some fear. And you were aware, oh my God, I feel such fear. Could it get so bad that you just become reactionary and lose it completely and just all evolve in the fear and run and do this? Yes or no? Then you're not in there watching the fear. You're in there in the fear. The fear pulled your consciousness into it enough to where there is not a seat of centered consciousness. That's what it means. Are you centered in the self? There's not a seat of centered consciousness. Where did it go? It's still there, but it got so involved in what it was looking at that it identified more with what it was looking at than it did with itself. Now, if you heard that, that is what is meant by the fall from the garden. You were here. Adam and Eve were here. They were here in God. We haven't talked about God yet. But they're just here, completely merged in the self, completely merged in the higher consciousness. And they got to experience flowers. They got to experience things. They got to experience people. They got to experience each other. They got to experience all kinds of stuff. But from here, from the seat of bliss, from the seat of ecstasy, from the seat of total well-being, I haven't said that to you yet. Your thoughts have a nature, don't they? Each one is different. Your emotions have a nature. The world has a nature. A rattlesnake feels different than a butterfly, doesn't it? The self, you, the consciousness, has a nature. In India, its nature is called Satchidananda, eternal conscious ecstasy. Oh my God, Satchidananda. Take those words, eternal, never-ending, conscious, you're aware of it, bliss, ecstasy. That is what's back there. That is the nature of your consciousness. Well, why don't I feel it? Because you're identifying with what you're conscious of instead of identifying with the consciousness itself. That's called self-realization or God realization. We'll talk about that soon. I'm leaving God out of the word completely. It's enough just to talk about us, isn't it? But now you understand something's back there, something that's conscious, that's aware, but it's getting pulled into the object of consciousness. It is always being pulled into the object of consciousness. Why do you need to meditate? Some people meditate. Why meditate? Because in meditation, what you're attempting to do is withdraw the consciousness from the senses, so it's not being distracted by the outside world, stimulating mind and emotions. Then you're attempting to withdraw the consciousness from the emotions and the thoughts. Well, what happens then? You start to hang out in the consciousness. People who have meditated, most people at some point that meditate, have reached a point, at least for a moment, where there are no thoughts. And you know what? You don't even realize. You come back and say, oh my God, there were no thoughts. How do you know? How do you know that there were no thoughts? Because just because there's no thoughts doesn't mean there's no you. You're not your thoughts. So basically, that's how you're working your way back to the seat of self. A great master is always established in the seat. It's called established in the seat of self. They don't leave. Does that mean they're not aware? They're aware. They're aware. But it doesn't pull them into it. You ever heard in the world but not of it? That's what it really means in the deep spiritual sense. You're still experiencing any thoughts, like Ramakrishna said, emotions can come up, but they pass right through. They don't pull you into them. You don't lose it. Have you ever lost it? Okay, just, God, your vernacular is so perfect. It's so spiritual. What does that mean? I lost it. What did you lose? Your purse? You lost your seat of consciousness. You lost your center. You understand that? You got pulled into the emotion. You got pulled into this thought and this thing, and then you come back. Don't you come back? Sometimes, I don't want to say it to you because it's really scary, you don't come back for years. Sometimes you go out there, you get all involved, you get married, you do this, and then one day you're taking a shower, and you wake up and say, where have I been? Because a part of you pulls back that was always there. Anybody have an experience, right? Because you've dealt with many parts of your being that you paid attention to. If you get married, you had to let go of the part that didn't want to get married. They wanted to go travel. And sometimes that happens, right? And then does it ever come back? Yeah, it comes back. See? It's not hard to understand what's going on in there. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be. It's what it is. It's because different thoughts and emotions and situations outside that stimulate your thoughts and emotions distract you enough to where your consciousness gets pulled into them and you think, this is who I am. I'm the one who wants this car. I'm the one who wants this career. I'm the one who wants this. I'm the one who wants to get divorced. Don't pick up marriage. What's divorce? I have met people that got divorced and years later felt bad about it. Sat there and said, we could have done better. I know I could have done better. I feel so bad. I really loved him. Can it happen? You better pay attention. So basically what's happening is the self, which is pure ecstasy, is being pulled down, quote, into the world. No, into form. Thoughts are forms. They're thought forms. They're separate. They look different. They're like clouds. Emotions are emotion forms. They have vibrations. And your physical all have forms. You get pulled down into it. That is the fall from the garden. And what does it say when you fell from the garden? Now you must work by the sweat of your brow to be okay. I'll repeat that. Now you must work by the sweat of your brow to be okay. Do you or do you not work by the sweat of your brow to try to be okay? Every moment of your life. Is that not everything you're doing is trying to figure out how to be happy, how to feel love, how to be inspired, how to feel passion, how to have meaning to your life, yes or no? Why? The only reason you're doing that is because you don't have those things. Why would you be looking for love if you're filled with love? Why would you be looking for passion if you're filled with inspiration and, oh my God, like an artist that can't wait. Beethoven cut the legs off his piano so he could hear the vibration because he lost his hearing. Like passion. How would you like that? I'd like to know what you're supposed to be doing and put your whole heart and soul into it all the time. You'd love it. Why? Because you don't have it. You don't look at it properly, right? Because you fell from the garden. What was the garden? You have it. You're filled with love. You're filled with passion. You're filled with inspiration. And then people say, well, I don't want that. Then why would I do anything? If you're filled with love, how would you like to be filled with love for that person and never see them and never touch them and never be close to them? No, your love wants to express itself, right? How would you like to feel creative inspiration and have no way to express it and nothing to do with it? So you don't have to be doing things because you don't have those things. If you have those things, they drive you to interact. You go to work every single day, no matter what the work is, you run to work. You can't wait till you're putting widgets on top of something, right? You can't even wait to do it all the time. You do it better each time. You're just so inspired. Like sports. Athletes kill themselves to get a little bit better. They're driven, the Olympics, everything like that, right? And some of them because they want a gold medal. Others because they're inspired. They love it. That's how true musicians are. That's how true artists are. They're not painting to sell it. They just feel this tremendous drive to express. How would you like to have that all the time? What it means to be in the garden is you have it all the time. It does not mean you don't interact with the world. That's a very important thing we get down. You don't go sit in a cave somewhere. You're in the world, but you're not in the world to get something. You're in the world to give something. You can't give while you still need. As much as you try. I'm going to give to charity. They'll put my name on it. I'm going to give to charity. People will respect me. I'm going to give to charity. I'm helping people. It makes me feel good. That means you didn't feel good. It means you didn't feel respected. It means you still need things. I'm going very deep with you guys. But if we're going to talk about God, eventually, we better go deep, because that's as deep as it comes. All right? So the fact that you are filled with joy and filled with love and filled with fulfillment does not mean you don't interact with the world. And that's what's supposed to be happening, by the way. So the fall from the garden doesn't mean you were off with God somewhere experiencing nothing. You were experiencing the world. That's what's supposed to happen. God created the heavens and earth so he could play, so he could experience himself. You paint. Would you paint and not look at the painting? Would you create a pot and not even look at the pot? No, you feel inspiration because you created it. It blisses you out to look at what you created, doesn't it? Everything should be that way. Every moment of your life. Uh-oh, let the cat out of the bag. But it's not that way, because you fell from the garden. Fell into what? Fell into your thoughts, fell into your emotions, fell into your body, fell into thinking your world is only this little part that you see. The world's a little bigger than the part you see, isn't it? I try to wake everybody up. It's like, you've had experiences in your life. You've had experiences in your life. You've had experiences in your life. All different. You've all had different experiences. So you think you know something. You know your experiences. At the same time, you were having that experience, any one experience. How many other experiences were going on the planet Earth? Hundreds of trillions and billions. Every spot there's an experience going on. And you think you know something because you had that one experience. Wow. That's amazing, isn't it? Well, I didn't just have one. I had the next one. But there was also hundreds of billions then, too. Now tell me, how much do you know? Nothing. You know what psychology says? Psychology says man is the sum of his learned experiences. There's a certain amount of truth in that. I teach it all the time. But you are not the sum of your learned experiences. You are the consciousness that is aware that your psyche is the sum of your learned experiences. You're the consciousness aware that your mind and your emotions are the sum of your learned experiences. Fine. Now we got that down. Now, what is the sum of your learned experiences? Nothing. You know nothing, you can't possibly know anything because you've had 1 out of 700 billion trillion experiences. Every time I have an experience, how about people say, I don't want to miss anything? You're missing everything. All right? You're so busy listening to your psyche, your mind, which is made up of the sum of your learned experiences, that you think you know something. But in fact, you know something. The trouble is what you know is so little, it's absurd. No, I know what she's like. I know what she's like. I met her yesterday. You have 5-minute interaction with somebody. They have a whole life. They're different all the time, everything. But you had that experience, therefore you got it down. Okay. That is where your mind comes from, where your thoughts come from. They are the sum of your learned experiences. That's where your emotions come from. They're the sum of your learned experiences. You don't honestly believe that you decided what you like and what you don't like, do you? Out of the blue, I just thought, I think I like, no way in the world. You've had experiences. And some of them made you feel good, and some of them made you feel bad. And you like the ones that made you feel good. I'll bet. Oh, I got it now. You like the ones that made you feel good. And you want them to happen again. Therefore, you think about them, and you think about what you can create, and how you make decisions, and what you can do to make them happen again. And it doesn't do the exact same thing happen again, right? So I had a boyfriend, but we didn't get along. I don't want that boyfriend again, but I want a boyfriend because it was a good thing. You see what I'm saying? It all ties together, and then they all touch each other, and they can be conflicting. Can you have had a boyfriend and it was fun and then it became really ugly, and now a part of you wants to have a boyfriend to have fun but you're scared because it got ugly? Oh, can you get weird in there? Can you ever not be weird in there? No, because it's some of your learned experiences. And who said all your experiences matched and lined up? Not a chance in the world, do they? So now you have decisions to make, all kinds of stuff, because you're trying to decide how to be okay, because you're not okay. All right? Because you can't possibly be okay. Because the only part, by the way, the only part of you that's ever okay is the self. But I thought you said that I'm not touching the self. You're not. But there are situations that happen outside that when they come in, stimulate a part of your being that opens you. Yes or no? You know what open means? It's not closing you, all right? Most stuff closes you. You get scared and nervous and anxious, but it opens you. When you open, you're not being drawn down into your stuff as much. Therefore, the joy you feel and the love you feel always comes from the same place. That's why I say God is love. But God's not the love that's jealous and possessive, and just self is love, eternal ecstasy. There are times that you open and that flows into you. And you feel it flow out your heart. Never feel love flow out your heart? If you feel love flow out your heart and you think that's neat, you're not a yogi or yogini. Why? A great yogi feels love flow out of their heart, and they feel that. It's beautiful. But it dawns on them, where's it coming from? It's like a flow of a river, isn't it? Where's it coming from? I want to know its source. Whereas you want to grab it and have it never go away. You want to grab the object that helped you feel it. And you think that's what love is. And it is. That level, that's what the level it is. That's the love you have. But the great ones have that and realize, wait a minute. When you feel that love coming and pouring through your heart, is it outside or inside? The catalyst is outside. The stimulus is outside. Person looked a certain way, talked to a certain way, acted a certain way, blah, 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 blah. Came from your hometown. Okay? It opens you. And they came from your hometown and they knew your neighbor. And you left when you were 15 years old and now you're 45. I'm telling you, that opens you. Oh, you know Walt? You met Walt? Oh my God, wasn't he beautiful? It's because it opened you. It opened you. It touched a part of you that was warm before and you stored it as warm. Therefore, it tended to open you. Therefore, in openness, you're more open to the flow of energy that comes from the self. But it comes and it flows out, then you want to possess what helped it flow out because you don't know how to make it to flow out. That's why you're taught the inner work. That's why you meditate. That's why you do the inner work, so that you understand it's coming from somewheres. How would you like to find out where that's coming from? How would you like to find the ocean of love that the stream flowed down and made it through your heart? Because it's in there, and it is the self. Not only is it in there, you're it. You ever hear the expression, what you seek for is yourself? Now you understand. So everything comes back to the consciousness. But the consciousness is pulled down into the stuff. I'll move on going toward God, but it's very important to understand. You have these experiences. They come in. You store them inside. There's a big distinction between memory and a blockage. Memory is, I had an experience. I can bring it back. I will. I can remember it. But it doesn't come back by itself and haunt me. If you suppressed it, if you couldn't handle the experience, so you pushed it away when it came in, it stays inside. I taught in a new book, I stressed the word samscara. That's what yoga calls a samscara. Way before Freud, thousands of years ago. This was written about. You do push things away in there, don't you? Yes. You have hands in there. You can, no, I don't like this. Where the heck do you think it goes? It gets stuck in your energy body. And it doesn't want to be there. Just like impurities don't want to be in your physical body. It tries to keep coming back up, and you keep pushing it back down. And there are things in there you're afraid of. You don't want them to come back up. Period. You can't handle them coming back up. You couldn't handle them when they happened, no matter how many years ago, and you can't handle them coming back up now. Yes or no? Therefore, you have thoughts that try to avoid situations that would bring them back up. You avoid people, places, things, discussions. You know we don't talk about that around your father. So you store all that stuff in there. Well, that stuff in there is the most powerful powder keg that you could store because you've got stuff going on about the stuff. So now the world comes in, hits the stuff, and you woo, okay? And so now the Shakti, we call it Shakti, the energy from self, that self is pure Shakti. We'll get there. I promised. I said, your relation with God, but first you have to know who you are. So basically, you're there. Shakti's there. Ocean of Shakti. It flows down. It's supposed to. It feeds your body. It feeds your mind. It feeds everything. It's intelligent. It's beautiful. It's power, a spirit. Call it whatever you want. And it's supposed to flow in and up, in and up. It flows through the whole system, right? And feeds you. What did Christ say? Man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that leaveth the mouth of God. What does that mean? you're not just getting good stuff from outside. It's not just food. It's like you're not living off the relationship. You're not living off the job. You're not living off the money. You're not living off the car. Right? Sure, those things can stimulate you. But by every word that leaveth the mouth of God, that's the inner energy. There's inner energy flowing. In the Bible, the word always means Shakti. It always means spirit. And so it's flowing inside. But it's not. Why? Because it's blocked. Why is it blocked? Because you blocked it. And so what you do is you have these experiences that happen. They happen, obviously, but you can't handle them. And so you push them away. Every single thing you ever pushed away is still in there. Ask Freud. For how long? It could come up the rest of your life. Does it not happen in your sleep? No? But Jung and everybody else who study dreams and all that stuff, right? Do you ever have nightmares? Do you ever have things come back up in your dreams that happened before and you don't want them, and they come in your dreams and you wake up all sweaty and all messed up? They're trying to release. Anything you push down there does not want to be down there. It is just like your body has impurities and has an immune system to push them out. Your mind is so much more brilliant than your body. The mental body is way more brilliant. The emotional body, these are higher energy vibrations. They have higher intelligence. They don't want that stuff in there. There's no way in the world that your mind wants that garbage in there. It interferes with the ability to think. It interferes with everything, right? So it tries to push it up. It can't do it while you're there because you're in the way. So it does it when you're asleep. It's all real, but we don't understand what we're looking at because we don't know who we are. But from the seat of self, when you pull back deep enough, you understand everything that's going on below you. If you stand on the top of the mountain, it's not hard to see what the whole valley looks like, is it? What everybody's doing, where the houses are, everything. When you sit in the seat of self, it is not hard to see what the mind is doing, what every single thing that they're trying to figure out from outside. Let me look in there and study what happens when I probe this. What does the mind do, all right? The yogi's sitting in here. He sees everything. Why would you not? So basically, you come to the point you understand what you have done is make a royal mess of yourself by not being able to handle reality. That's what it comes down to. Are there situations that happen you couldn't handle? Then they're still in there. Can you imagine storing every single thing that ever bothered you inside of you? What would it be like inside? Oh, bothered. Is it? And now what you try to do is solve the bothered by going outside and finding let's manipulate, finding situations outside that when they come in, don't hit your stuff. Somebody says just the right thing at just the right time, in just the right way, in just the right environment. You hear me? It's touchy, isn't it? It's got to be just right. Somebody comes up to you, oh, I love you so much. You're the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my life, while your husband's standing next to you. No, that wasn't the right time to say that. All right? So if it's perfect, you're open to it. Therefore, some energy can flow around those blockages, and that's all that's happening. So now we know who you are. You are the one that is identified with your stuff. And basically blocked, and then you run after things outside that help you feel better, run away from things outside that make you feel worse, and you think that's what you're supposed to do with your life. Think about it. Will you marry me? Can I think about it? Bye-bye. What are you going to think about? How would you like to hear the tape of that mind that's thinking about whether you should get married to this guy or not? Well, we've been dating for 14 years. Right? And the mind say, well, I don't know if they have enough money. Well, he really does. And the career looks good, right? I wonder if I'll get to have, think about the house that we'll be able to afford. How many kids does he want to have? I just want to have one. He wants to have 3. I don't know. I don't want to take care of 3 kids. You're 12. Okay. Well, let's go deeper. You wake up and you realize who you are. You are the consciousness that is sucked into all this so deep that it's hard to get out, isn't it? It's hard to get out. If that's who I am, why can't I just be there? Why can't a drug addict completely hooked on heroin and his whole life is falling apart and the wife's going to leave him and it's going to happen, and he sits there and says, you're right, I don't want to do this anymore. I won't do this anymore. What's the probability? What's the probability? Right there on that spot. I will not do this anymore. Right? Who are you kidding? There's this thing called habit flows of energy. There's these things called patterns that the psyche and the body and everything has, don't they? It could be, I don't have to be drug, it could be eating sugar, it could be this, it could be anything. There's a habit, and if you don't do it, it gets uncomfortable in there. And you don't like uncomfortable. Therefore, now am I really talking about it? Right? You see what's going on. Okay. So ultimately, you have the ability of working your way through your stuff. Just like a heroin addict has the ability of getting off heroin. They do it not all the time, but lots of them do it. They get their lives back. Okay? It's no different inside of you. You have this stuff in there, don't you? It's running your life. And I always stick an eye in, ruining your life. Because now you have to watch every single thing that happens to make sure it's okay with you. And so you get to the point where you say, all right, I don't want to live like that. There's something greater inside of me than the lowest experience I ever had. I'm telling you, the lowest experience you ever had is running your life. So you start to work on yourself. How do you do that? I always taught, I don't teach techniques. Why? Everybody teaches techniques. Everybody has techniques. They're all fine. It's different strokes for different folks. The question is not your technique. The question is your motive. Why are you doing this? If you're doing this because you understand what we just talked about, I pranam to you. I'm doing this for liberation. I'm doing this because I'm caught in my psyche. I'm caught in a lower part of my being. And there's something higher in there. And before my life is done, I'm going to find me my place in the sun. Period. That's why I'm doing it. Not to get powers, not to attract to myself what I want. Okay? It's deeper than that. And if you want to go to the God thing, what I'm talking about, you better be willing to go deeper than that. Getting what you want is so overrated, it's ridiculous. Avoiding what you don't want is so overrated, it's ridiculous. Understanding that the reason you want and don't want is because you're blocked. And so your life is this big, it's so thin, it's the thickness of a hair. Everything has to be exactly right. Everybody has to be exactly right. Everything they say all the time, doesn't it, have to be exactly right. If you come home and you're excited to come home and your wife or your husband had a bad day, you don't like that. Everything has to be the way you want. You go on a vacation and there's a roach in the hotel room. In South Florida, there's lots of roaches, okay? And you just ruined your vacation, didn't it? What's wrong with you? So other than this thing about getting what I want and avoiding what I don't want, there's this thing of being able to honor and respect reality. What's it got to do with my wants and not? Why should the world be what I want it to be? Have you ever said that to yourself? No, never. Why should the world be the way you want it? She doesn't want it to be that way. He doesn't want it to be that way. Why should it be the way you want? Talk about ego. Wow, that's unbelievable. You got yourself a God complex. Don't you believe things should be the way you want? So you get to the point where you wake up and you realize, I'm caught in myself. I gotta get out of this place. If it's the last thing I ever do, there's a better life for me and you. There is a better life, and it's the spiritual life, which is the life of working on yourself to cleanse, to release, to let go, to surrender. You've got this garbage in there you can't handle. You need to learn to handle things. As I always teach, right? I guess I have a technique. What's the technique? Handle reality. There's your technique. How? When something happens, start with small things. When something happens, like the driver in front of you's not driving the way you want, the weather's not what you want, little thing like that, that's not the way you want, and you see yourself close, let go. Let go of the part of you that's causing you to close. Believe it or not, that will take you so far you have no idea. It can take you the whole way. But you don't bother doing it. Bother doing it. Bother learning to handle reality. What do you mean by reality? Let those eyes to see, let them see. Open your eyes. It's raining. No, I don't want it to be raining. I have to get out and deliver it. Just sit there and relax. Relax. Let go of the part of you that's resisting. And then you won't push it away. And then you'll learn how to let go of the part that's resisting something a little bit bigger. Somebody didn't say hello. You saw somebody that you had an argument with yesterday, and everything inside you wanted to walk the other way and not see them. Let go. Dare to let go. Dare to stop letting that stuff run your life. You're a higher being. Let go. Relax and release. Relax and release. And the next thing, I still got to get to God. Wow. All right? If you relax and release to these things outside, these smaller things, someday, soon, by the way, something's going to come up from inside that you used to not be able to handle. You know what you'll find out? You let it go the same as you let go of the driver in front of you. You let it go the same as you let go of the fact that it was raining when you didn't want it to. You learn how to let go of stuff in there that doesn't feel good. And the next thing you know, it's gone. And there's more joy. There's more love, because now it's not pulling you down into it. All right? So let's get to God. Eventually you let go of enough to where you're not getting distracted by your stuff. Why? For two reasons. One, there's less stuff. Why? Because you let it go. How would you like to be clean in there? How'd you like to wake up in the morning and say, I'm back! I wonder what's going to happen today. It'll be fun. I told you, if you want to know what's going to happen today, I know what's going to happen today. You're going to do a 360 on the planet Earth. You'll do a revolution on the axis of the planet Earth. That's what's going to happen today. What do you care about the details? You don't. It's just fun. Things happen. You see a roach run across the floor. I hear they're there since the dinosaurs. Why? You just are open. You're open because you don't have all that stuff in there that closes you. And what's going to happen is so amazing, and it will happen to all of you. Period. I don't care if you think you're depressed, right? If you let go. Depressed means I'm pulled down and my whole consciousness is now focused on that part that got hurt, that doesn't believe in anything. You hear me? No one likes me. No one ever will. No, if I can't live with her, she was the only thing I ever cared. Go on, do that. Do that with your mind. See how happy you are. So you let go of these things that you stored throughout your life, and what's going to happen is you're going to find out that there's more Shakti in there. There's more joy. You see a bird, you see a leaf fall, you see the trees change colors, you see a cloud float by, anything, and you just feel all this joy. Why? Because that's your nature. You are Satchidananda. And the next thing you know, as you let it go, Shakti starts going up instead of down. Instead of being pulled down, there's this force inside of you. It's natural. You don't have to do anything. If you're not being pulled down, it goes up. If a hot air balloon is not tethered by the ties, it's going to go up. What do you have to do to make it go up? Nothing. You just untether it. You cut the tethers. You let go of the tethers, and it goes up. It's the same thing inside of you. You are being held down, tethered by all this garbage that you stored in there. And so now you let go, and it starts going up, and you feel it. It literally, you feel the Shakti pouring up inside of you, pouring up, and it goes up, and it goes up, and it goes up. And each stage you have to let go more. Even the great masters, Yukteswar told Yogananda once, that even at the point of total enlightenment, it's like a bird that's always been inside of a cage. You open the door, that bird doesn't always fly right out. It lands on the perch and looks around. It's all new. And so you're there and you're being pulled away from yourself. You're being pulled away from your little self. And boy, you're happy to let it go until at some point you're being asked to let go of the fact that your consciousness is individual. Because what's actually happening is as follows. There's only one consciousness. Period. There's only one consciousness. And it's focusing on your thoughts, on your thoughts, on your thoughts, like just a beam. There's one light, but the beam focuses on everybody's everything. But when you get back to the seat of where that light is touching and then looking from there, that's witness consciousness. From there you get pulled back wider. There's still a point. Your consciousness is still a point. There's a point looking at your thoughts. But you get pulled back, it starts to broaden out. And at some point, you have to do, what did he say? Oh, die to be reborn. Every word Christ taught was the truth. Christ taught the same thing as every great enlightened master, for every great God-realized being. My Father and I are one. All right, let's see. What does that mean? All right, first, I have to die to be reborn. I'm there looking. I let go of my thoughts. I'm there. Now I have to let go of me. I have to let go of the fact that I'm seeing myself as separate. I said, are you in there? It's still a separate thing. It starts pulling you back. It happens naturally. You can't do anything. You have to let go. You have to learn to let go. And it starts pulling you back. And what happens, Mayor Baba said it perfectly. His consciousness was a drop of water staring at himself. It fell into the ocean. Find it. Take a drop of water and drop it into the ocean and find that drop. What does it do? It merges and becomes one with the ocean. My Father and I are one. That's what's being talked about. That's where a great enlightened being is, a God-realized being. is the consciousness that was staring at you has gone back to the source of consciousness. And every master that ever reached that state said, Yogananda, in his chapter, My Experience in Cosmic Consciousness, said when he first dropped into that state, his body was every galaxy in the universe. And he was expanding, just like you feel your body is this. Now the consciousness is not limited to looking at this. It is all of creation. It felt not only as every galaxy in the universe was his body, but the edges of his being were expanding at the speed of light in every direction. And then he got brought back down, and I love it. There's one of the deepest teachings. His guru, Yukteswar, who helped cause him to reach that state for a moment, took a broom and shoved it in his hands. Didn't ask what it was like, didn't do anything, just go sweep the floor. In the world, but not of it. You're able to work both ways. Both ways. Right? So what is God? God is the consciousness from which this sprung. Just as your dreams spring from your consciousness. You make cities, you make people, you make lifetimes, don't you? Where did they come from? Just the creativity of your consciousness. So that's God consciousness. And beings, such as pictures on the wall, there are others, have reached that state and stay in that state. Meher Baba was so deep that he had to have a disciple stand outside his bedroom every night and periodically look in and see if he was wiggling his big toe. If he didn't wiggle his big toe, he's not there in the morning. That's how tenuous the tide of the body was. Okay? I hope that doesn't scare you. Right? Be scared of dropping into absolute ecstasy. You know? Okay? But he did stay in the body. Yogananda taught at Carnegie Hall back in the 20s. People would come. He taught control of the life force. In other words, how to work with your energy to raise it up. Somebody once asked him, what do you experience? Because it was packed. They were on the block. People were waiting. What do you experience when you're standing up there? There are pictures of him. He's like this big. There's a whole crowd. He wasn't a very tall guy. And what do you experience? You must feel such pride. You came from India, little town, and now all this. And he said, no, I don't experience that. He said, at the same time, listen to me, at the same time that I'm there and this teaching is taking place at Carnegie Hall, I'm at higher planes, working with my deceased guru, working with higher beings, and at the same time, I'm merged with the whole universe, expanding at the speed of light everywhere. All are happening simultaneously. That's how great your consciousness is. And what are you doing with it? OMG. So, now do you understand your relation with God? Muktananda. Meditate on the self. Honor and worship your own being, for God dwells within you as you. Doesn't it? The great mantras, the really great mantras in India. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahma. Shiva Hum, I am Shiva. Hamsa, I am He. That's who you are. You're the whole universe. You're the creator of all of creation. You're what creates the quantum field. The vibrations of your consciousness are the vibrations that the scientists are getting down to, that said there's no particles, there's just waves. There's just waves vibrating. That comes from consciousness. Now you understand how God can be everything, including you. All right. Now you know how we end the talk like that? Namaste. That which is God within me honors the God within you. Wake up. Wake up. Jagradav.